A football agent is it's a big responsibility because you have someone's future, someone's career, and you have to make sure they get the best out of it.
Players need a mentor, they need guidance, they need someone to assist them with their money. And you read stories of players who were on incredible sums of money and they're broke. And I think that is a role of an agent as well, to say, look, invest your money wisely.
The relationships I've got are good, they're long-standing. Some players ring me every day. That's not a problem, you know. And 4 out of the 5 days we might not even talk football.
I look at my clients as my family. I treat them as my family. They're always welcome into my house, and we have a very good relationship where we can discuss everything.
Some players will ring me more often when times are good. Some players will ring me more often when times are bad. But they know I'm there for both, rather than just the good times.
As a journalist, they're useful to have in the game because they offer you a route into information.
The way I use the media personally is for information. You know, whether that's looking to see whose move has fallen down, who's moving, because ultimately the transfer window is a game of chess. You've got to be looking 1 or 2 steps ahead. And if somebody might be losing a centre forward or a left winger, and you've got one that would like to better themselves and potentially available, then of course you've got to react to that quickly.
You don't turn on the player as a fan, you turn on the agent because the agent is influencing that player to do that.
What the fans need to understand is, if it wasn't for us, that transfer won't happen. So we actually are good guys. We have to represent our players and we have to get paid for it. No one does a free work.
Agents are paid on a percentage. So if they get the best deal possibly for the client, then not only are they doing their best by the client, they're obviously getting a little bit more money for themselves. And by the way, if no deal is done, the agent generally doesn't get anything.
I've said no to more deals with football clubs than I've said yes. That's a side that people don't see.
You can say greedy. At the top level, some of them are. I'd agree.
Like every industry, there's good and bad. If something bad happens, you probably tell 10 people. If something good happens, you might tell 1. I think the good deals that run smoothly with professional people don't make the press. It's less of a story. The bad ones that run and get played out in the press tend to be the ones that the public and the fans point at, quite rightly so.
They allow their client to concentrate on what they're good at, which is the football.
The clubs are disloyal. You can give, as kids come to me or young players come to me, 6, 8, 10 years of your life to a club and you are released. And they've got wives, they've got children, they've got a mortgage to pay. So an agent, if you think about it, redresses the balance. The club have got a team of lawyers, a team of people there to negotiate, and you've got to fight your corner for the player.
The agent will always think about the player first. They'll get the maximum for the player.
It's very easy, and a lot of agents do it, just concentrate on the deal. Deal brokers, guys that just specialise in moving players from club A to B. They're in and out. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I like to help nurture talent. My biggest thing is going on journeys with players, and that's the most rewarding, without a shadow of a doubt.
Sometimes there can be a potential offer on the table, and I've said to a particular player, their style of play does not suit you. And you need to be aware of that, so how would you fit in? That move is not going to enhance his career, even though it may keep his bank balance ticking over.
Agents will use us, they will use journalists to get their points across, to make it known that their client is open to a move, is open to offers, wants a new contract. You might get clubs coming out of the woodwork then expressing an interest and potentially a move or a new contract in the pipeline.
Media is a powerful tool. If you've only got 2 or 3 clients, you can afford to upset football clubs and maybe never work with them again. But I've got to work with everybody, and trust and rapport is so important.
You've written this story saying Barcelona want player X, he's open to the move. 2 weeks down the line, player X has signed a new contract, you're looking right Charlie. But the reality is, we've been fed that information for a reason. So you have to then judge whether the next time that agent comes to you and says, this is the case, whether you want to, plough 2-footed into it or not.
As football agents, I think the biggest pride, the biggest happiness, the biggest joy I get is when I've known I've changed my player's life for a better reason.
It's a great feeling when you can help someone like that.
Seeing your player doing very well, seeing your player score, even if it's against the team you support, is the biggest joy.
That is why I do what I do.
What gives me and makes me feel a little bit significant is the success stories, and the stories that aren't necessarily the ones that are seen in the public as success stories, but making the little differences here and there for me are huge. Having players give me their first debut shirt for the club that they're at is far more important to me than finances.